Greetings, my internet friends. This is a video about some of my favorite recipes I've been making lately, but I also wanted to share some of the non-food related things that have been feeding me, because when we are fed in our lives by our community, our sense of purpose, our sense of hope, we rely less toxically on some of these easy, simple vices, food being one of them. When I feel worthy of love, when I feel a sense of curiosity, that sense of stability ripples out into my relationship, to my diet and my body. And when I'm trying to control food, it's most often because I'm having trouble reckoning with the truth of life. So I've just been bringing a lot of awareness into the non-food related nourishment around me, including regular movement, having a good media diet online and with the books I'm reading, sleeping really well. I just invested in some earplugs, which has been game-changing, and just getting excited about how I want to express myself in this world in general. Connecting to love and deep gratitude, deep awareness of my miracles once a day is truly the thing that fills my body with the most life force. So keep in mind that this is happening quietly inside, beneath the surface. Food is such an intimate relationship to so many things, to a sense of security, to a sense of comfort, and for me it feels really familial. Every single time even that I enter into a newer relationship and I'm falling in love and I feel all of my fears of unworthiness come up, I feel a tendency to binge eat more. Kind of like I'm comforting myself but also trying to self-destruct at the same time, and overall bringing intention into my meals, bringing prayer, bringing good feelings is something that I want to promote and share. Food as ritual, food as medicine. And before I ramble too long, these are just some recipes I've been eating, and my main prerogative is to slow down and just enjoy the process of making and receiving it, notice, feel, and try to eat without distraction. Yakisoba noodles have been a favorite of mine for years, and I would most frequently get pre-made packages of this from the Asian grocery store, but it is so easy to make. So I'm sauteing all of the veggies you see here and first tossing my tofu in cassava flour. You can also use cornstarch. This gives the tofu such a different texture. I'm just frying them in a little bit of sesame oil while sauteing my onion, garlic, and carrots. I just slowly add in my veggies depending on how quickly they cook, and this cassava flour gave the tofu a kind of mapo tofu texture. It's so yummy and kind of creamy. And then I just added in the rest of my veggies, my sauce, and my noodles. I let them sit for a little bit too long so they were breaking, but I highly recommend, if you're going to meal prep this, to make your noodles the day of, or to undercook your noodles so that when you add them all together and stir fry them, they don't get overcooked. But this is so delicious and addicting. I make it once a week. One of my most consistent rituals lately is taking AG1. It's a daily drinkable scoop of vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and whole food sourced ingredients in one, validated by research. AG1 helps your whole body, brain, and gut health thrive. It's designed to replace multiple supplements by covering nutrition gaps with a comprehensive blend of nutrients. I usually take it in the morning right after breakfast, and I notice that it supports my energy levels, probably because it has adaptogens and B vitamins, and I also love that it's good for my gut health with its prebiotics and probiotics. It's so easy to take with me on the go as well, especially with their mini travel packets that come in their various flavors. Right now, AG1 is offering a free bottle of vitamin D and AG1 travel packs on top of the welcome kit when you subscribe. It won't last long, so go to drinkag1.com/Hitomi or scan the QR code to get started. Thank you so much to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. This white bean miso soup is full of my favorite flavors. It's creamy, has the perfect texture, and a little bit of tanginess. Using these simple ingredients, it comes together in about 10 minutes. I start off by sauteing my leeks and mushroom, and then get my sauce prepared, which is simply soaked sunflower seeds, miso paste, nutritional yeast, soy milk, a little bit of shoyu, and lemon. The lemon you can add to taste. I like a lot of lemon, so I ended up adding the juice of an entire lemon throughout this soup, but This is a preference. After all the leeks and mushrooms have sauteed and cooked, the last thing that I add is my kale and white bean so that they don't get overcooked or fall apart in the soup. I saute those until they're soft and wilty, blend my sauce together, and pour it into the pan. From here, I just mix the sauce in and the soup is pretty much done. I like to add a few more seasonings. Sometimes I'll add a little bit of garlic powder and cumin, but my favorite thing to finish this off with is another generous squeeze of lemon, and it is tart, tangy, umami, just so delicious, and also has a lot of protein because of the white beans. I'll add a little sprinkle of cumin on top and some fresh green onions. It's addicting, I'm just gonna warn you, but it is great meal prep and is a good reliable soup to have in your rotation. If you regularly make rice and have leftovers sitting in your fridge, this is a great recipe for you. I start off by crisping up some day-old rice with some sesame oil and just plate it up with cilantro, sauerkraut, avocado, edamame, and I normally add cucumber to this. And then I made this really simple lemony tahini sauce. I love tahini sauce. It's nutty, and I just drizzle that over everything and eat it with some nori. It's so simple. This is my first meal of the day and I'm so excited to eat this. I just wanted you to hear the crispiness and the crunchiness of this rice. Of course, adding any other protein that you would like to this. I love making bento boxes out of this. I made some for my girlfriend the other day and I put tuna in hers, canned tuna, and she was obsessed with it, so highly recommend. It's so quick. It just tastes really light and refreshing. I normally add cucumber and carrot to this, but I didn't have any today, so just whatever veggies you have. Especially sushi vegetables, like wrapping it up in this piece of nori with the creamy avocado is just gonna be fire every time and tastes like a hand roll. So we got the crispy rice.
And in today's episode, I assume tahini?
Yeah, it's that lemon sauce.
Let's not waste that. Oh my god!
This is... Yeah, anyway, just wanted to feed you.
Amazing.
This is what I make when I'm craving something chocolatey and nutty. I smash a bunch of medjool dates and drizzle tahini sauce on top. You can use any nut butter that you like. And then my favorite kind of seeds to add are hormone balancing seeds like sunflower, sesame, and pumpkin seeds. But I also added furikake onto these, and then I drizzled them with chocolate that I melted, just pure dark chocolate, and then finished them off with a few more seed clusters on top. You can really do this with any variation of toppings, but you freeze them for an hour and they are such a good, reliable snack that really hit the spot and are very satiating. I'm filming this video throughout 1 week and I was severely craving pickles today, so I thought I would make some on camera. I have more recently gone into traditional pickles. For most of my life, they really turned me off and I'm not sure why. I would eat kimchi, I would eat pickled onions, but gherkins, like something about it. I didn't even realize that pickles were cucumbers dipped in vinegar. But in the past 2 years, I started dabbling with pickles while going to Turkey and going to these little villages. And inside the pickle jars, they had things like cauliflower, carrots, zucchini, like all different kinds of eggplant inside of their pickle jars. And I was like, wait, this is actually so good. And then I started branching out into the gherkin world. I loved them. I think I'm putting too much salt because these are big flakes of local salt that my friend gave me. It's good to just line the bottom. Salt levels adjusted, but basically I really love pickle jars that are full of different kinds of veggies, and I'm gonna try to make that today. So I'm gonna make a lemon zesty pickle situation. This is dill, 2 with dill and 2 with more of a spicy garlic jalapeno vibe. I love spicy pickles. I can't really hang with sweet pickles. That does not do it for me at all. The more frequently that I put myself out there in the pickle world, when I'm in the grocery store and I'm trying different jars, it's really just heartbreaking when I buy a jar and it's not the flavor that I want. It's not the spicy, garlicky palette that I want. And so I have resorted to making my own. Most of the pickles that I've eaten in my life have been from like the village, you know, from some auntie making them. And they have their very special little recipes that I have not been blessed with. But yeah, I guess I am very picky with my pickles and I'm standing on that. So we're starting off by making a brine. I'm gonna put 2, 3 cloves of garlic in there and then 2 cloves in here, and then let's see, let's put a little bit of curry powder. I'm making a zesty dill. Actually, no. Do I want that? I'll do like the tiniest little bit, a little zesty vibe. I would love to put some za'atar in these, but I don't have any. So we're just going with some black pepper. In the spicy garlic one, I'm going to put jalapenos. Wish that I had some chili powder, some chilies to put in there, but I don't. So also gonna add like a teaspoon of mustard seed, a little bit of sugar into the cucumber jars. It's been a while, y'all, I know you know, since I've shared any recipes, anything relating to diet or food, because it's hard enough to exist in a human body and figure out how to fuel yourself well without tons of judgment, without this feeling that there's a right and wrong way to eat or a right and wrong way for your body to look. And I've just needed to take a step back from any sort of like commentary and feedback on that. It's such an intimate thing, what you choose to feed yourself. I've been in healthy, regulated places. I've also been in like deep spells of confusion. Had 1 or 2 dips back into binge eating. Very minor, but just noticing me wanting to use food as a coping method to avoid feeling my feelings, quite literally stuffing them down. It feels terrible, but the more quickly I forgive myself in those moments, the more quickly I just return to a regulated place. And I feel like so much dysfunction and imbalance happens when we are avoiding our feelings. And so the first thing that I try to do when I feel like shaming myself in some way, and then all those self-harming actions that follow, is try to deconstruct that shame around what I'm feeling, letting myself be kind and speak kindly to myself when I feel like disappearing, instead of being like, ugh, I can't believe I'm 27 and still struggling with sadness. I can't believe I'm still here having these same thoughts. And my immediate knee-jerk reaction is to think that, and that only prolongs the length at which I am feeling like shit. And the moment that I start speaking kindly to myself, I just move through it. And it's such, you know, a non-intuitive thing that like you have to love yourself through those bullying, hateful thoughts that you have about yourself. Has been the only way through, is just returning back to love as quickly as possible. And it's just been a very big theme in my life. Let me just say that. That's why I've disappeared from the internet more and more, because I have been struggling with my mental health and not feeling like it's okay for me to, in the midst of so many crazy things going on and with all of my privileges. And I've basically been in a prolonged state of like not feeling valid enough to take up space if I'm not doing something productive in society or sharing something positive online. And I'm just learning to be present with myself through all phases. And if I can continue being an example of that, that is going to be fulfilling enough. And I'm just giving myself some grace, because I really do love sharing on here. And I know that I don't need to show up any type of way, that I'm creating this little world and we're creating this community together. So yeah, I've just been having some deep moments with myself. I've been at the bottom of the well in some of this space off of the internet, but I've also been really happy and really discovering myself. I'm in the midst of my so-called Saturn return. I'm learning to rely on people and ask for things and need people, which is so scary, but also feels so good. I'm just learning how much I need family in my life, and I've kind of like denied that for a while. Anyway, I just put some sugar snap peas into here, broccoli, carrot. This smells so good. In here, I'm going to put carrots. I love a pickled carrot. I feel like I want to be way more of a witch in this era of my life and just make more concoctions and little ancestral medicine. I've been talking to a therapist about my issues with food and body image. For the first time ever, I've never spoken to a professional about that, and it's been so eye-opening. And when I put all the puzzle pieces together from my past, from my conditioning, it really makes a lot of sense why I constantly feel like my body is wrong and that something about it needs to change, and how present certain belief systems existed in my family and my mother. And I was meditating earlier and putting my hand on my gut. I was feeling a little bloated yesterday and I was like, oh, I wonder what I ate. And my body was just so grateful that I'm able to listen so deeply now and listen so lovingly to when it feels out of whack. And I really just started feeling my mom, how much I saw her shame her body and speak negatively to herself, and how I have the power to end that ancestral curse that I know was passed down to her from all of my forefathers. No, from all of my foremothers. And I'm excited to be kind to myself and almost love myself the way that I wish that my mother did. You know, I sometimes would shame her for not teaching me certain things. I felt kind of abandoned from her or by her at times with how much more guidance I wish that she gave me. And her response would always be, I didn't know. I didn't know these things that you're wanting to learn. I didn't know how to teach you because I never learned. And I didn't understand that. I couldn't let it go. I wanted her to be something that I can't even be for myself. And if I could have that high of an expectation for her, let me try and have it for myself. Let me try and do it for myself, you know, because I've touched levels of love and belonging that neither of my parents probably ever did. And to expect them to regard me, to communicate with me like my friends do, is a really big ask and must feel so foreign to them. And I am growing up with better circumstances than they did, and it's a struggle for me. It's a struggle for me to always communicate well. It's a struggle for me to reprogram these hateful thoughts about the way that I look. And so it's just been a really wonderful return to compassion. All of these little reflections. There's also an immense sense of relief knowing that a lot of the ways I feel about myself are not just my fault. Like, they've been passed down. We live in a patriarchy. People profit off of our insecurities. Anyway, I made those a little bit too tall, and you want everything to be completely covered by the liquid so that they ferment and they don't get disgusting. Basically, the way that my friend taught me is that you fill up your pickle jar with hot water up until about 2 fingers, and the rest you pour vinegar into. For bigger jars, it's more like 3 or 4 fingers. And the secret to very crunchy cucumber pickles that my friend Rank shared with me is to pickle them in their full form before cutting them. I did not find the small pickles. I couldn't find gherkins, and I couldn't find the Persian cucumbers that would have fit in here easily, so I just got normal cucumbers and already chopped them up. So these might be a little bit mushier than I would like, but that's okay. These I'm going to let sit for 3 to 5 days. These I'll let sit for about 2 days because I know they'll ferment and pickle faster, and then put them in the fridge. This is looking sexy. Very excited. This is so satisfying. I highly recommend making pickles. It feels so like auntie. It feels so ancestral. I hope to see you in a video soon. I hope that wherever you are at in your relationship to your body, you can just be slow with it, take your time with your feelings, breathe deeply into the moment, and know that it is okay. And the sooner that you bring love to those parts of you that feel so unworthy of it or so scared of it, is the sooner that you will feel safe, return home, and be able to move from that part of you that really knows who you are, that knows that you're worthy, that knows that you have the same infinite potential as everyone else. And so I invite you to be slow and return to love. especially in those achy, small, shadowy places. That's what I'm trying to do out here. Thank you so much, and I will see you in a video soon. Okay, bye.